Hey, what's up guys? Books Nelson here. We're going to be doing a quick breakdown of Nick's Legend OG Anunoby. So let's get right into the content. So there's a lot of reasons to like OG as an overall card. As I've discussed before, there's a difference between a My Team card and a My Career card. In the My Team game mode, a My Career card is going to be your cards that can really create, have a lot of those My Career meta dribbles. And My Team's cards are going to be more passively good, like good shot release, good intangibles, right? They're just good on the floor, good rebounding, good size and stuff like that. So we know that OG is a good My Team card, right? He has all of the defensive badges that you could possibly need. He's a great dunker. He doesn't need any badges at all whatsoever. So that's great because a lot of cards that are good, like say the Tyrus Thomas, they're actually very badge and resource intensive. So this is a free card that doesn't require any resources at all whatsoever. So we love that about the card. So everybody knows he's going to be good at 3&D, and he's got good dunking animations as well. So he's going to be a very good slasher. He's got basic one-handers off one, but he's also got athletic one-handers off one and that athletic front tomahawks, right? Really great ones there. He's also got this, as we get right into it, talking about his finishing, right? If we look up and we see, so he gets on the rim really efficiently, right? He doesn't have a lot of joke dunks in his finishing packages, which is great. And he also has a really nice layup package in that default swing. It's just going to be, again, very efficient. Like that's the name of the game with OG Anunoby. He's a very efficient card. But a lot of people are going to want to know, can he move? Can he dribble? And that's what we're going to break down right now. So number one, he has the LeBron James dribble style, one of the best dribble styles in the game. So LeBron James dribble style has a solid push cross and an excellent kind of pro dribble style reverse push cross, right? This kind of side to side business. To pair that, he has the normal dribble style. Now, normal signature size up, right? To pair with the LeBron dribble style. What I like about the normal signature size up is it actually does visually deceptive moves. And if you watch this channel, you know it is extremely strong to have a good size up paired with a good dribble style. One of the strongest things in the game, doesn't require a ton of stick skill, and importantly doesn't require a ton of stamina either. So already with just those two things, OG can move a little bit, right? He's not going to be your primary ball handler no matter what we cover in this video, but I will say that OG can get his own shot. He's not a stiff. He's not a pure 3&D card. All right, so he has John Wall escape. Let's take a look at that. It's actually a solid escape for the front escape, right? The front escape is actually really good. And so he can L2 cancel with that front escape. So now we see OG is starting to emerge as more of a ball handler, because if you have that skill set to L2 cancel, OG is going to be very good at it. That John Wall escape is a pretty good one. It's not top tier in the game, but I would say in that secondary category with your Kobe Bryants and stuff like that. So a good escape behind the Kembas and the Trae Youngs of the world, but still very usable. All right, so combo moves, pro. So it looks like he has this Steph Curry style, De'Aaron Fox style double cross. This is one of the better ones in the game. And this is the kind of move it's great to have, because not only does it create distance and get him going off of a standstill really well, but it combos great into a lot of his other stuff, right? So if we look at that move, so you do that move, you go into a normal size up dribble, and then you get out of it with the LeBron James, right? So just something as simple as that, you know, it gives you some good side to side rhythm, right? And then you can do the reverse, right? You can size up dribble, get into that LeBron James, get back into the dribble style, and then LeBron James back the other way. So already with just that, you have enough that OG Anunoby is a surprisingly decent secondary ball handler. So let's look at his hesitation. So it says here he has pro hesitation, which means it could be anything, but that's the hesitation there. And the important thing about this hezi is he can burst in the same direction extremely effectively. He actually has a really great burst. Kind of curious what this hezi is, because his burst to the same side is immaculate. Immaculate same side burst. So we love that as well. So now we've got LeBron James dribble style, right? We've got normal size up combined with the LeBron James dribble style. And then we've got the double throw, and we've got the same side burst. And we've also got the great escape, right? The great escape. So we've got this great escape move as well. So what does the card not have? Essentially, you're just talking about not having a great snatchback. He's got the Jimmy Butler moving step back, which is pretty good. Good for combos, right? So I'm just gonna spam this up a little bit so you guys can see how smooth this is with combos, right? So it's a good move to mix in with that double throw. He's got a little juice as far as that goes. And again, with the LeBron James dribble style, at any moment, at any of these moves, you can burst out of it going either direction with the same side burst. You can mix that in. So honestly, this card has a lot more wiggle than you might think. I'm actually a little surprised by how much movement he does. I thought he'd be okay. I thought he'd have one or two things. But honestly, OG has about 4 or 5 good tools that he can use. And his behind the back affords him a very good misdirection as well, if you guys know how to do the misdirection dribble. If you don't, check out my dribble tutorial where we go over that sort of thing. And his moving behind the back. His behind the back. So that's his regular behind the back. Not particularly useful off the standstill. But as we go moving, we see he's got that. A Trae Young, Jason Tatum style behind the back that propels him forward. And you know what that means? That means that off of the whoop-dee, he can get right into that behind the back and get a nice little forward launch. Not as elite as, say, a Kobe Bryant doing it, but still a nice tool to have, right? And that's the kind of thing where, you get going off of just a little side to side. You can throw that in there, get right on the rim. It is a very good tool. Let's look at his moving crossover. He's got the Dame Lillard moving crossover. Not one of my favorites. Not a super strong crossover. Honestly, don't see much of a use for his cross. I don't know about that crossover, that Dame crossover. It's okay. It's got a solid change of direction. Maybe to get into his floater game, you can use it to get nice horizontal movement. I think it might be okay for that. But outside of that use case, I don't know. I would say that. It's good for zigzag. Go into the basket, changing your angle, people drop off you to the rim, and you get into his floater game off of that. It can be pretty good. Speaking of floater game, let's look at OG's shot. So OG's got a very smooth, pretty quick jumper. Very easy to read the cue. Just a phenomenal jumper across the board. I believe this is a Hall of Fame difficulty, so you guys can already tell. Leaner, he's got the normal leaner, so solid, adequate, good enough to get the job done. And on his hop jumper, he's got this pro hop jumper. Pretty slow, definitely a weakness for the card, I would say, because it's not quick. It creates good space, but it's not quick. I do think if he's being guarded by a really good defensive card, or even a center, the center is going to be able to get on top of that thing and really, contest that shot. So I wouldn't lean too much on that hop jumper, but I do think his floater is good enough. And then as we discussed before with the swing, layup style, layup package, he's got great floaters going to the basket, and he can also get on that rim with these really efficient dunks. So good to great shooter. Definitely good release. I would say upper tier release, smooth, right? Not the fastest, but definitely smooth. Feels really good to get up there. And it's high release as well, which is another thing. He doesn't bring the ball out in front of him too much. So you'll get a little bit better shot contest as a result of that. It's like basically straight up. And yeah, LeBron James dribble style, everything we went over. I think this OG card is definitely one of the better pink diamonds in the game. I would say, me personally, I would definitely run this card over, your Danny Greens and maybe even your Tyrese Thomas. I don't know, maybe Tyrese Thomas is still better than OG, but in that next tier behind your Tyrese Thomas kind of cards, I think OG fits very well, and he can play the 2. So yeah, if you're still running Kobe and you don't have a strong Galaxy Opal at the 2 guard, I do think that he's a backup that can serve you at the very highest level of the game. And I actually do think that he's reasonably competitive with some of the Opal 2 guards as well, because of just how strong he is defensively, just how great of an athlete he is physically. I'll talk about that a little bit. We can look at his attributes here, and I'll just run them down. I'm not going to read everything out loud, but I will mention a few of the standouts here. So he has a 98 hands. That's interesting. All right. But you see there, the defense all in the high 90s. Like we talked about him as a My Team card. We're covering mostly his SIGs right now, but it cannot be overstated. You're talking about a card with 97 steal, right? 95 block, no coach. This is just how he comes out the gate. 98 perimeter defense, 96 perimeter defense on a 2 guard, right? This is outstanding stuff. 92 speed, I definitely throw a shoe on that. Probably also give him that speed with ball and strength as well. Even the 95 stamina is, pretty solid. I might throw a shoe on that as well, just so you can have him on the floor just harassing. So yeah, In OG, you're getting a great on-ball defender. You're getting a great passing lanes guy. Good frame on him. It says he's 6'7", but he's got a good, solid 6'7" frame. In fact, we'll do our quick size comparison test here and sub him out. Let's look at him next to Ron Artest. And we'll look at these two side by side, right? So you see OG, and you see that right there. OG has actually his frame, I don't know, they're similar in frame. Ron looks a slightly wider. Yeah, Ron's slightly more in the shoulders. OG has a bigger head and neck, but both have good frames. OG's arms, are they longer than Ron's? Yeah, his arms are longer than Ron's. You see that? See that wingspan there? See it shrinking on Ron, and it's a little longer on OG. So yeah, OG, is it longer? That's about the same. They're very close, Ron and OG. Very, very similar. Ron's wingspan might actually be bigger. But yeah, I like the size of the card. Feels really great on court. Solid 2-guard, both offensively and defensively. And if you lean on those dribbles that I was talking about, listen, he's never going to be this guy, right? He's not one of the best cards in the game. He doesn't have that Jamal Murray behind the back. He's not going to be as fast with the ball. But I do think as a second ball handler, because people are going to see this card and put their best defender on this card, as well they should. And if you have a card like this or a Kobe or something like that that can really move and you're struggling, you're feeling a little box, and OG's got a little cupcake on him, they try to throw maybe that Steph Curry or something, throw one of the small point guards on him, and you can boogie and you can get on that rim with that card.